What is the crack, as the Irish say? My dear ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to present unto you the stand-up act. The immense, ever-giving joke that is the very well-finished Finnish tongue of Finland. Gosh, how it feels jitteringly good to crack a joke or two to take our minds off of the year of the orangutan 2025 looming over us all. This video shall not mention or in any way refer to the one that is not to be mentioned. However, it does mention the other kind of unmentionables on several occasions, so without further ado, let's get the show cracking. I shall now present the stand-up act that is Finnish. Fuck my sideways. Not my ears, you half-wit. I meant fuck me sideways. That's the single craziest thing I've heard in my life. Surely you have to be joking. This has to be fake news. This just in. The whoppingly too sensitive fine land of Finland has banned the use of the words Russia and Russian, as they are considered just simply too barbaric a term. The liberal fanny-packing Volvo-driving leaders of the Finlanders, always ahead of their progressive time, decided already decades ago that the words Russia and Russian are in bad taste, and should therefore not be used anymore in Scandinavian Finland, that shares 800 miles of border with the unmentionable. So where the other European languages still get to call Russia Russia, or more precisely, I derivation of it, such as the Swedish word Rusland, or for that matter the Russians' own word for their country, Rasi Jar. However, the fine land of Finland decided half a century ago that it indeed knows better than the Russians themselves know which words will insult the Russian people. Yet, even though in official contexts Russia is no longer Russia in Finnish, this usage lives on at large in common everyday speech. Banning stuff hardly ever works, you see. Finnish school children have been saying for decades, I Russified my exam today. It also translates as I Russianized my exam today. You see, the very word Russify, or Russianize, has become synonymous with failure in Russia's neighbouring country of Finland. So when you hear a student say, I Russified my exam, it means I failed the exam and flunked the course. Adults also use Russianize in common phrases like I Russified or blew my marriage, or that politician Russianized the budget deficit. Edes the ding bat lost us dough, the mullah, the state pasta. However, as a resident of Finland, I must congratulate Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin for winning the American presidential elections for the second time since 2016. That is no failure at all, remembering the Cold War and all. Yet, of course, most Finlanders would rather spend a day with a Russian chap than a Swedish lad. The Swedish cannot tell a good joke, nor can they take a proper hot sweat in the Finnish sweat lodge better known as the sauna. The Swedes just want to talk about how much salmon they make. That is what those sons of village-pillaging Vikings, only recently out of the closet, overly humanistic homos call their money. Salmon, of all the words on earth. So Swedes are largely seen as boring faggots, and Russians as Finnish, sauna heat-bearing, bear-taming folks, sons of Rurik the Russ. However, Finnish is a strange language indeed. Pimpy and pippali, those are the words for pussy and willy. Adults say pilu and kulli. Common curse words in Finnish include vittu, that literally means the nether regions of the feline female kind one can count on, the cunt. Cunt is used when one accidentally drops a pair of keys or burns one's tongue in the fine land of Finland. Vitun kukot is a common exclamation heard oftentimes in traffic jams. It literally translates as the lungs of the aforementioned vittu, the cunt that is. Vitujan kevat is a way to replace that, especially when one is surrounded by half-witted drivers. It means the springtime of the flowering cunts. If, as an extracurricular, you want to learn how to use cunt to refer to a personality trait instead, you can say vitumainen. That literally means cunty or cunt-like. So the phrase always count on the cunt-faced mother cunts of the county would translate as luota aina vitumaisiin males ema vituihin. Now let us learn authentic Finnish with the help of a Finnish folk song dubbed as Ieva's polka. Finns know it by the name Ivan polka. Pioli markana jokaisella. Each of their twats wet. Ai, tata, poika, markies, haita. This sonny doesn't exactly mind the dripping pussy drool. Silon, ko lasku laistelaitaan, when he's filling the pussy from cheek to cheek. And that's almost a 100-year-old folk song, and these are its real original lyrics. No wonder the translation of this song has been one of the most watched videos on this very Lebowski, dudeful channel of yours truly. Heck, I could even break it down word by word and use to teach the Finnish grammar. But first, I wish you all, bugger off! Painuka vitun! Yes, as the most astute of you have noticed, the Finns indeed literally say push yourselves into the pussy when they say bugger off. It's as if they were saying bugger right in. But it does mean more like you had better leg it while you still CSN and hide yourself in the pussy, you yellow-bellied twat. You see, unlike you American twang emitting fat-chewing moronic sons of latter-day Moroni, the Finnish culture is not very anally oriented. Whereas in America shit often hits the fan in the fine vaginal land of Finland, however, things literally go down south, into the frontal nether down under that is. Se meni ihan vituiksi, or with the same intended meaning, se meni pan vitua. However, se meni vituiksi literally means it went and turned into pussies, and se meni pan vitua means it all went pussy-bound. But hey, let's all painetaan vittu night! Don't forget to hover around and about the like button, taking great care not to click. But do at least remember to unsubscribe. For Finland, for Van Helsing's Fours, for Helsinki. And by all means do remember to go give thumbs down for the lewdly thunderous folk polka song found fully translated in the link, the comments section in the nether regions of this wonderfully cunt-faced, aristocratically soft-spoken video. You can always cunt on the tight upper lips to muddle through cunning vulvic undercurrent. Painu vitun hosita imavitu. Oh, and they do ask in Finnish supermarkets, do you want a pussy with that? They have rubber pussies for 20 cents in most grocery stores and more durable pussies for $1 or $2. For poor people, they have cardboard pussies. For those looking actual garbage pussies, they sell about 100 garbage pussies for less than $2 total. Loose candy pussies are a thing in every store as well. You see, when you hear a Finlander say pussy, it means a bag. Loose candy pussy is a word-by-word translation of a candy bag you fill amongst the so-called loose candy. And now it's time for the grammar lesson of the day. Pussy has several forms. Into the bag is pussien, in the bag is pussisa, out of the bag is pussista, and to achieve something with the help of the bag is pussitse. You see, Finns indeed say a litany of declinated noun forms containing the word pussy with a straight face. These include pussy, pussien, pussissa, pussista, pussitse, pussehin, pussihan, pussia, and so forth. You see, Finns don't use a lot of loanwords. A telephone is puhelin, the talkie. A cell phone is kanika, literally a handling as in a small hand thingy. Computer is knowledge machine, tieto kone. Indeed, as barbaric the Finnish language is, rest assured it is not really an European language. Its closest language relatives are indigenous. And the easiest language for a native Finnish speaker to learn is indeed Inari Sami, above the Arctic Circle in Lapland. Now let's talk some more about Vitu in terms of the twat that is the former Prime Ministress of Finland and the current twatty state of the affairs of the Finnish politics. In the beginning, Gord Dunn created the heavens and the earth, and it was one big old mess, till Gord huffed and he puffed and he got her all sorted out. Then he sat back, cracked open a cold one, and said, "Dang, that was a lot of work." And there, nestled in between 300,000 lakes, are found a few patches of poorly asphalted swampland, that for reasons beyond me and my British shepherd's pie-clogged brain, repeatedly ranks as the happiest nation on earth. We are here in the fine land of Finland to find out why. One of the worldwide renowned symbols of these bug-infested wetlands is its former dancing Prime Minister Sanna Marin, who caused a tremendous ruckus during the years of the vagina virus pandemic by saying,
"Amidst these dark, ominously low-hanging dark clouds of COVID, I just wanted to have some fun. So what if I got sloshed off my feet and couldn't answer a work call as the head of an entire nation and tipsily tiptoed to several nightclubs despite having tested positive for COVID? At least I didn't take drugs. And just because in a wild party video of myself, 2 women are overheard shouting to each other, 'Wow, this stuff feels amazingly good.' It doesn't have to be a reference to drugs being served in my private VIP after party. Just because I was filmed with blazing dazed eyes jumping up and down in a wild cocaine-fueled frenzy shouting, 'The powder posse rules, the blow brigade inhales, the nose candy clique dominates, the cocaine crew is here, the nostril cloggers, the pale posse, the vampire snow imbibing succubi.' In that rather unfortunate video that is the wrinkle of my brow and the very root cause of why during the 4 years of my reign, my jaw suddenly went slack. I'd est prolonged itself more than. Ladies, I only wish knobs extended themselves in equal equine measure in times of feminine service. So, what if I shouted powder posse rules on camera? Powder doesn't have to refer to the kinky K powder. And I did do a drug test, though I did it so late that even a mountain of blow wouldn't have shown in that urine sample I gave to our familiar family doctor. Drugs are very, very bad. Besides only one of them that is a bottle's worth of neurotoxic substance that caused my brain cells drop like flies, that is the national Finnish state potato liquor. Of course, said my K-horse. And that's why in this very fine land of Finland, we openly admit to torturing our brave wounded servicemen with a complete lack of access to even 1% THC potent herbal remedy. The fine land of Finland only allows the white-coated man's ongoing colonialism over indigenous shamanistic medicines such as the wacky tobacco. Likewise, every single one of our amputated citizens is denied proper pain relief. We don't allow the hemp flower even on terminal wards where patients have only weeks to live. Happiest country on earth in my wet twat. And so what if I did rub that very twat of mine against an unknown soldier's leg while being the leader of an entire nation? It's not like a male prime minister wouldn't have been allowed to pull the same move on an unsuspecting by-dancer. You know, should rubbity twats be thought of as grinding dingai? Just to torture them further, to comply with the EU policies, we do keep a variety of 22% THC cannabis, dubbed the bedrockin, on the shelves of our pharmacies, yet not a single amputated citizen is allowed it for pain medication. You see, it is our moral duty to protect our people from the evils of ungodly hemp flower. This is the Finnish land of the finished people. We don't indeed grow no weed in Muskogee, Finland. Just to broaden our horizons of torture, we took in a myriad of refugees from Muslim countries such as Iraq and Somalia, where the people don't slurp much alcohol, but of course are human like the rest of us, and seek some form of release during weekends. So, we have invented the perfect torture mechanism for them, as well as for the amputated soldiers and other tossers. We make sure these poor refugees without any money on them don't ever get to earn a salary in the fine land of Finland. We slab a sticker on their foreheads that reads criminal in capital letters.
Quite indeed, according to Finnish law, a pedestrian caught with the possession of even the slightest crumble of cannabis is marked unfit for work for the next 5 years. And I do mean any work. Just to clean toilets at a gas station requires a criminal background check. Just answering the phone in your run-of-the-mill customer service job is forbidden. Just a job peddling food home deliveries to customers is forbidden due to laws concerning sensitive information, such as people's address info that needs to be protected from the clearly criminally minded cannabis tokers and bong gurglers alike. You see, not only does Finland protect its fine Finnish folk from the dangers and perils of the innocent hemp flower, it also prevents people from virtually ever working again. People whose only crime in life is having tarred their very own lungs with hemp vapor, be it just once during their college days in a frat house, are rendered completely unemployable, that's for sure. Such a nice thing to do to the African Finnish population as well. You see, a vast majority are Somali Muslims who are forbidden to get drunk, but not forbidden to get higher by the godlier of laws. Chronic unemployment will soon finish off any college student who even once dares to try cannabis. To top it all off, like icing on a velvety white widow-infused cake, one loses one's driver's license in Finland despite never having driven under the influence. Just smoking on one's balcony on a Sunday after diligent church attendance means one loses one's Finnish driver's license. One never gets it back, unless one submits and passes a year of drug testing. One fails the entire year's worth of testing, should one just once fail to appear in a randomly summoned drug test due to having travelled within the country to see relatives. We went and sought out to see are there any validity to these claims. We booked an appointment with the May Bay Hospital in the capital of Finland, von Helsingfors, and asked the good doctor for a prescription of medical cannabis for severe nerve pain. And just like that, without even a word's worth of inquiry into the cause of the aforementioned chronic nerve pain, or for that matter completely without prying into our medical history from the respectable tiny royal island of Fog, but not bog, mind you, a tremendously important distinction of sophistication, I must remind. And yet the doctor flat out stated, and I quote her now, she stated this verbatim, "I don't know of a single doctor in the country who could write a prescription for cannabis," and added, "We certainly don't do it here in the capital, but I could provide you with contact information on how to quit abusing drugs." And she said this to my aristocratic, elderly, well-dressed face. So I buggered off without ever asking to pay her whack doctor's fee. Anywho, during the last election, Sanna Marin pulled out a lock of her hair during a campaign interview and said, "Test that for drugs?" She, of course, royally lost that election and fled the country with a tail between her legs. What a twat indeed. Do not hesitate to hover around the like button and possibly even consider unsubscribing to curb our effort for not penalising and criminalising the honestly and unfakeably amputated for merely seeking pain relief in cannabis worldwide. It's a wrap, twats. Now don't be such cunts and go fetch me some of that wacky tobacco. I want to see what this peach fuzz is all about. Oh, buggery old me. I almost forgot an entire chapter's worth of yuppie yap. The most ironic thing about this utterly racist cannabis policy the fine land of Finland has adopted from old-timey America is the fact that 90% of Finland is composed of population who either speak one of the three indigenous native European tongues of Skolt Sami, Northern Mountain Sami, or Inari Sami, or alternatively speak Finnish, a language that is not much farther than a dialectical stone's cast away from the indigenous native European language of Inari Samis. In all its racism, even America never ever banned the smoking and growing of cannabis from any of its indigenous nations we British like to call the real Americans. As a cherry on the top, the Finnish population is not only linguistically closely related to the indigenous native Europeans, but also share a DNA indistinguishable from the Sami DNA unlike any other nations. What they all share is a deep-rooted love for their nature and sweat lodges they call saunas. Sauna and Nokia are in fact the only Finnish words that made itself outside Finland. Yet alcohol remains legal in this boggy reservation of a country, and cannabis unattainable by legal means no matter how sick and dying you may be. You shall be protected from the safest drug in the world, cannabis, that America has declassified belonging to the same not dangerous category of drugs as melatonin and other sleeping aids. Instead of making America great again, what say we make Sanna Marin, Sanna Marinen? Marinen, of course, being the Finnish word for being under the influence of cannabis. This irony is a stark reminder of how policies can be out of touch with cultural and historical realities.
This has been a Two Flies with One Firm Smack campaign ad. If you don't mind the amputated getting access to legal medical cannabis, don't forget to leave a like and tappity-tap the living daylight out of that subscribe button. Oh, and hey, let me quote the national prickish treasure for the purposes of Finnish language acquisition. Oh, and they do ask in Finnish supermarkets, do you want a pussy with that? They have cheap rubber pussies on sale in grocery stores and more durable roughened pussies for 10 times that. For poor people, they have cardboard pussies. Garbage pussies are by far the cheapest and are only sold in bulk. Loose candy pussies are a thing in every store as well. I'll be darned if the loose candy pussies ain't the customer's favorite item to gobble up like the stuffed Thanksgiving turkey very often. You see, when you hear a Finlander say pussy, it means a bag, not a vag. Loose candy pussy is a word-by-word translation of a candy bag you fill with the so-called loose candy. What a darn savage language. One thing I guarantee, though, if you spend even a few months in Finland, you're sure to hear voihan vitu. It literally translates as, I pussy certainly could do it or achieve it. In this translation, voihan is understood to mean the phrase, surely it is capable or surely it could. Alternatively, voihan can be understood as buttery for sure. You see, the ending han means surely or certainly. Voi is butter, but it is also an inflected verb form of expressing capability. However, muna is capable of both meaning a dingus and an egg. So a popular Finnish wordplay is to say, mene munala toihin. It means either walk to work using your dingus as a cane, or as popularized by an egg TV commercial, go to work with the nutrition of an egg. So you definitely have a lot to wrap your head around if you plan to spend your time learning the language. And they don't speak much else than Finnish in Finland. You see, the Vikings colonized Finland in medieval ages, and now as a twisted remnant of the colonized days, every single Finn has to learn the Swedish language of herring catchers, spoken only by 10 million people, in order to pay homage to their colonial homophilic Viking masters overthrown already hundreds of years ago. The Finns being forced to study and pass a colonial language to a high degree just to graduate from the plumbing school doesn't sit well with Finns. You'd better believe in order to become a certified plumber, a Finn must be able to pass a Swedish exam of advanced level. So Finns loathe having to learn the colonizer's tongue and have grown rather envious to children of foreign nationals who can graduate both from the plumbing school and even get a university degree without knowing a lick of Swedish. I even have a buddy who was an excellent college student, but he couldn't pass the Swedish exam as he had no talent for foreign languages. Now he is indebted for his student loan but cannot get his otherwise finished degree out of his university. The finished land of Finland. We even have a guy bound to a wheelchair and was in such pain he couldn't tolerate life without being constantly drugged to sleep. Then he got a cannabis prescription, and he got up from the bed and became a gold medal winning para-athlete. Then my countrymen decided to ban him from getting his prescription renewed. Now he is wilting away in bed again, drugged to sleep with way harder Big Pharma's legal drugs. We need a medical refugee program to save the Finns with titanium limbs, MS disease, autism, and amputated limbs. You see, the Finns themselves are such ardent believers in equality that they cannot allow the amputated to buy their cannabis, if they, the healthy, cannot get to toke the wacky tobacco for recreational purposes. So Finland has tons of highly educated folk who are not allowed to shovel shit, their only crime being the crime they committed against their own lungs. That is why I haven't had no electricity since May. As a lung-tarring dude, I am not allowed to work. 6 months without electricity and a lifetime of unemployment and travel bans just for using very small amounts of cannabis for medical and religious purposes. That is why I have nothing better to do than to collect refundable cans off the streets and apply for a medical asylum from statistically the happiest country on earth. Yet I speak better English than 99% of the Finnish population, and am way above beginner's level in more than a dozen languages, including the indigenous Sami tongue, with only 200 left. I have a university background, but I have also a vocational degree and excellent recommendations, yet I am rendered absolutely useless for getting fined for half a gram of cannabis. That $80 fine means I am not allowed travel visas nor work anywhere for 5 years. 17 years of being a good student flushed down the drain for seeking pain alleviation in cannabis for truly severe pain. Oh, but hey kids, remember, if you rusky up your exam again, we won't be going shopping no loose candy pussies.